Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us this morning for the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership Annual Meeting. I'm Lucas Pyatt, Chairman of the Board for the PDP, President and CEO of Millcraft Investments and Pyatt Sotheby's International Realty, and it's my honor to welcome you to this year's 2021 meeting. It's more important than ever that we remain steadfast in our efforts to ensure your health and safety and that of our community, even as we move forward with a renewed purpose and a determination to build an even stronger and more resilient community. This is something that you'll hear more frequently as we reflect on 2020 and what we aspire to accomplish in 2021. Downtown faced an unrelenting wave of challenges over the last year, and the need to continually revise, reinvent, or completely relinquish several cornerstone activities became the unfortunate new normal for the PDP. That all being said, I'm extremely proud of the work that occurred and continuing the important work to build partnerships that support the growth and development of our resilient downtown. Today, you'll hear about how the organization realigned in ways that would ensure the downtown community was supported, informed, engaged, and most importantly, kept safe. To kick off today's proceedings, I would like to introduce two of our most vital PDP advocates and our partners. First, County Executive Rich Fitzgerald, who will be followed by our Mayor, Bill Peduto.
Good morning. County Executive Rich Fitzgerald here. Let me take my mask off. This is my 10th PDP annual meeting, and obviously one like none other. Every year at the PDP meeting, really over the last decade, we have seen increased residency, we've seen increased office space, increased hospitality, restaurant, cultural amenities, a vibrant downtown that continues to grow and continues to do things that we get excited about as the hub of this region. Obviously, this year, the pandemic changed everything, and I get to see it every day as someone who does come into the courthouse on a daily basis, knowing that the traffic is less, both the vehicular traffic, the foot traffic, but we're turning a corner. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We see things are going to start to open up more as more and more people get vaccinated, as the governor's lifting some of the restrictions statewide on entertainment, gathering spaces, and we'll continue to see that in the coming months. I think this region, again, has done the things of coming together and working on challenges like we always have, the pandemic being no different. However, we know some of our friends have been affected economically as well as health-wise much more than others. We know that the cultural amenities that we take so much pride in, the restaurants, the hospitality industry, has been affected, and we know that's going to continue for a few more months. But what we have seen is continued investment, continued optimism about where we're going, particularly in our central business district of not just the Golden Triangle, but the North Shore, the Strip District, Station Square, the Lower Hill. We see projects continuing to move forward, and that's going to continue. So we're going to continue to work together. I want to thank the PDP and Jeremy for the work they continue to do. This has been a tough year, but we're going to turn the corner on this. We're going to get on the other side of this pandemic, and Pittsburgh's going to come back stronger than ever before. I'm optimistic about that. I believe that, and I know continuing to work together that Pittsburgh's best days are ahead of us. Let's continue to work together. Let's continue to be partners and collaborative and making Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh region all that it can be. Congratulations, and let's keep working together.
Hi, Bill Peduto, Mayor of the City of Pittsburgh. 2020 was a difficult year for all of us. We went through the dual crises of a global pandemic and a national calling to end discrimination and racism throughout our country. We felt the effects throughout the city of Pittsburgh, but maybe nowhere as much so as in downtown Pittsburgh. Daily demonstrations reminded us that we still have much to do in providing civil liberties to all of our residents, no matter the color of their skin, their religion, their sexual orientation, their gender, or any other way that they choose to be identified. As well, we saw the economic effects of the global pandemic. Hardest hit was our hospitality industry, our restaurants and bars, our opportunities to celebrate sporting events and the arts, and our hotels all took a tremendous hit during this pandemic. And the work there will also need to continue as we return. As we look at 2021, I look at it with optimism. In the next several months, we'll be breaking towers on 2 new skyscrapers for our city. We'll be continuing with economic development projects that have been delayed through COVID, and with the plans of other economic development programs to begin in downtown. And slowly, we'll start to see those numbers reducing to the point where once again, we will be gathering in restaurants. We will be gathering at concerts and shows, and at Pirates games and Steelers games and Penguin games. And we will be coming back together as one Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's had to deal with a lot of crisis over the years. And if there's anything that we've ever been able to learn, it's that by pulling together and working as one, we can overcome all of them and come out of that crisis with the opportunity to make our city better. Thank you for your due diligence and the work that you have done through these 2 crises within downtown. And thank you for the work yet to be done to make Pittsburgh that city we know it can be.
Thank you, County Executive Fitzgerald and Mayor Peduto. We greatly appreciate your leadership and support and look forward to working with you both as we begin to welcome workers and visitors back into downtown. Downtown has experienced a significant disruption, with the pandemic deeply impacting the fundamentals of our economy. However, we also know that we are a resilient community and look forward to working with you on a series of place-based economic development strategies that support a strong recovery and continue to build economic vitality downtown. Today you will hear how we greatly increase support for our small business community in an effort to get them through this economic crisis. I'm extremely grateful to my colleagues and the board at the PDP and our many partners that supported these efforts. I now have the pleasure of introducing you to the first of a number of leaders here at the PDP that are going to help tell the story of the work that was undertaken in 2020 while also outlining our plans for 2021. Mary Ann Geyer is the Vice President for External Affairs at Point Park University and will be sharing the significant impact of our Clean and Outreach team. Mary Ann.
Thanks, Jeremy. Over the last year, the PDP's Clean team was more essential than ever in ensuring downtown remained a safe and clean environment to live and work. They remained unflinchingly dedicated to cleaning, power washing streets around the Golden Triangle, and providing enhanced services like wiping down benches and bus shelters, as well as deep cleaning high-touch areas with a sanitation fogger. Of course, there were necessary changes to safety protocols. Gloves and PPE were required to limit public and personal exposure and ensure our team remains safe. These critical tasks are not easy, so we are grateful and proud of their persistence in making downtown a more inviting and welcoming place as businesses reopen. Last year, our outreach team continued to be an invaluable asset as it provided critical support to those in need. The team offered connections to mental health services, assisted in securing housing, and provided hygiene kits and coats to help ensure the safety and well-being of those in need. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Mayor's Office, Director Hisrich, and the Department of Public Safety, Chief Schubert and the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police Zone 2, and the Department of Public Works. Without their support, none of this great work would be possible. Looking forward, the Clean team will continue its efforts to disinfect high-touch surfaces throughout downtown and maintain a safe environment for workers and visitors returning to the Golden Triangle. Our volunteer program will be reignited with hopes of having 10,000 plus hours this year, bringing the program back up to pre-pandemic levels. We also plan to pilot a workforce development program to support our clean team efforts and help individuals gain work experience and skills as they enter the workforce. Lastly, the work of our outreach team with the Allegheny Health Network's program for homeless and urban poverty medicine will be further integrated, ensuring that individuals experiencing homelessness are well supported. I now want to turn things over to Kevin Acklin, Chief Operating Officer and General Counsel for the Pittsburgh Penguins, who will share more about the PDP's mobility efforts.
Thanks so much, Marianne. There were plenty of moving parts in 2020, both literally and figuratively. Re-examining how we physically reconnect many key facets of downtown life in a new and safely considered way became an ongoing challenge. We're continually evaluating at how people, business, and transportation relate to one another and work together, not just in times of a pandemic, but well into the future. As part of this, the PDP spearheaded efforts to rework several downtown streets, which enabled 24 restaurants and bars to expand into outdoor spaces and stay open as restrictions on indoor gatherings increased. Implementing this street realignment and doing so quickly was no small feat. It required extensive conversations with business owners, property owners, and residents, combined with support from a host of public agencies. And it worked. Safe dining destinations were created, and streetscapes in the heart of the city were reinvented. Businesses were able to stay open and still meet public health requirements that would help reduce the spread of COVID-19. The PDP is grateful to the R.K. Mellon Foundation, which provided a grant to help fund the project, along with the support of PNC Bank. Beyond the reconfigured streets, other important work continued as well. Specifically, the Downtown Pittsburgh Mobility Plan was first introduced in late 2019. The Mobility Plan represents a blueprint that will guide improvements to downtown's transportation network and public realm for the next decade and beyond. After more than a year of evaluating the network, analyzing the data, listening to stakeholders, and learning from peers, we are thrilled to announce that a draft of the plan will be published this spring. As we consider the year ahead, the release of the Downtown Pittsburgh Mobility Plan will lead our efforts, outlining a series of ambitious projects that will guide transportation and public realm decisions for the next 10 years. We will engage the community in discussions of these projects as they unfold and begin prioritizing projects for implementation and further consideration. Building upon the successful outdoor and on-street dining areas will also be a priority as we move to incorporate public art, additional greening efforts, sidewalk amenities, pedestrian-friendly lighting to make our streets better for commerce and pedestrians. Focus corridors for these efforts include Fort Duquesne Boulevard, Market Square, sections of 6th Street, Strawberry Way, and Penn Avenue. We will also begin discussions around the possibility of making some of these enhancements more permanent. A new vision for Smithfield Street will be released to inform the City of Pittsburgh capital planning process on corridor reconstruction, sidewalk designs, trees, bus shelters, and roadway configurations that will support continued revitalization, ensuring that this corridor becomes a premier destination in downtown again. And lastly, preparation from the Downtown to Oakland Bus Rapid Transit project that updates the bus network will explore enhanced amenities for bus riders and improve traffic flow at peak periods. And now, I'd like to introduce PDP board member Marissa Williams, who is the new chair of our governance committee and also co-chair of our anti-racism and inclusion committee. Over to you, Marissa.
Thank you, Kevin. Over the last several years, the PDP has taken great strides in developing a more diverse board of directors. And this year's board, which you'll hear about more shortly, will welcome one of the largest and most diverse groups of new directors in PDP's history, electing 12 new members. This shift in leadership is critical if we want an organization that best reflects our community and that encourages diverse opinion and perspective to support the development of a better downtown for all. If you're interested in getting involved, Reach out. As the new incoming chair of the governance committee, we're actively seeking people that are passionate about building a stronger, more inclusive, and more resilient community that serves as the hub of our regional economy. The pandemic has changed so many facets of our lives, but well before the COVID pandemic began, we knew that the systemic racism pandemic and lack of diversity were critical issues that the PDP in our city must address in order to build the urban center we desire. The leadership of the PDP used this as an opportunity to have courageous conversations around racism, but more importantly, to implement actions that will help define how we make a more inclusive downtown. So maybe you're thinking to yourself, what actions? What did you do? Well, in 2020, we created an anti-racism and inclusion committee chaired by myself and board chair Lucas Pyatt. This committee helps to drive PDP's goals and influence decisions. I'm committed to leading this work, and more importantly, the entire leadership team of the PDP is promising results. The PDP staff and select board members also participated in a 21-day racial equity challenge to learn more about the racial inequity from varying perspectives. A curated selection of text, videos, podcasts, and really good group discussions help to create a baseline of understanding of how we got here and how to identify new ways in which we could strategically combat this issue in both large and small ways. In a typical year, the PDP books over 200 musical performances, and we're committed to featuring even more diverse entertainment programming, with 50% of all musical programming showcasing Black entertainers. We achieved that number last year and look forward to making an even more impactful year coming up. In partnership with Shayla Hawkins Events, we welcomed enthusiastic entrepreneurs to the Black market, a new holiday pop-up showcasing goods from dozens of Black-owned businesses. And also during the holidays, we provided an option for children and families to visit with either a Black or a white Santa. My munchkin loved getting to see a Santa who looked just like him. And we commissioned Black artists for numerous public art offerings, a very important subject which played a significant role in downtown last year. The PDP commissioned 3 unique public art projects featuring Black artists in 2020. These large-scale public artworks placed all around downtown revitalized the new outdoor dining destinations and brought new visual experiences to our streets. And the art on display is just really good. Jayla Patton's artwork, Colorful Growth and Soft Waves, delivered a massive street mural along Penn Avenue. The installation created a vibrant backdrop while encouraging new conversations about the value of public art within the community. Another installation called New Space Spheres was curated by Janelle Young and showcased the creativity of 5 Black Pittsburgh artists who combined their colorful artworks with various health and safety reminders. The third installation, called Downtown Renown, was developed in partnership with the Western Pennsylvania Sports Museum. It featured the work of artist Gavin Benjamin, whose montage style created artwork that brought stories of 14 Pittsburgh sports icons to life. With social distancing requirements in place, all of these public art installations provided opportunities and experiences that safely engaged people returning to downtown. They created vibrancy while still maintaining safe social distance. As we look ahead, the PDP is committed to further increasing the diversity of our vendors and suppliers. We currently have 37% of our small purchases coming from MWBEs, and we want to increase that to 50%, ensuring that we're providing more businesses with opportunities to support our work and the mission of the organization. A proactive commitment to attracting a more diverse staff, as well as board leaders, is a huge priority for us, realizing that this work must start with an internal lens. With clear acknowledgement that we need more Black-owned businesses in downtown, and that will likely require much more strategic and intentional effort, we will be working hard to attract more Black-owned retail and commercial office businesses to downtown, both through incentives and active outreach. Now I'd like to introduce Gary Dudley, Executive Vice President at CBRE, to share details about the PDP's economic development efforts.
Thanks, Marissa. As news of the pandemic unfolded, and shutdowns began, the PDP was quick to rally the team virtually and develop a response to support downtown businesses. Within days of stay-at-home orders, the PDP had launched an online COVID response hub, which was and remains a one-stop resource and information center for businesses and consumers. Initially, this resource featured up-to-date information on the various downtown restaurants offering takeout and delivery, but soon it grew to include links for business owners looking for support programs, loans, or the latest health and safety guidelines. It's probably not surprising that these resources became some of the PDP's most visited web pages last year, with over 50,000 page visits. This speaks to the immediate and devastating impact that the pandemic was having on small businesses and to the downtown economy as a whole. As one key indicator, average usage rates in Pittsburgh Parking Authority garages downtown fell to 16% capacity in April 2020, an 80% drop-off from a typical month. The PDP had to develop quick responses to evolving conditions, with several new programs and initiatives being developed to help reinvigorate downtown's small business community. The gift card give back program was one of the first. It launched in April, just as stay-at-home orders were imposed. It provided a safe and easy way for customers to show their support to over 100 local shops and restaurants in both the Golden Triangle and the Strip District, and was an incredible success, generating more than $300,000 in direct economic impact to support restaurants, retailers, salons, artisans, and more. The successful initiative was subsequently shared by many other cities as well. Another new event called Shopopoly was repeated several times in 2020 to entice shoppers to downtown retailers. Customers played a downtown version of Monopoly, visiting dozens of stores, which entered them to win thousands of dollars in prizes. The event offered a safe and unique way for shoppers to rediscover downtown. 90% of participants said they either had a more or much more favorable view of shopping downtown after the experience. To limit any potential barriers for attendance at events like these, the PDP also worked with downtown parking garage owners, led by Merrill Stabile at Alco Parking, to offer reduced parking rates for shoppers, diners, and visitors and encourage downtown activity. 10 parking garages offered a $3 flat rate in the evening and on weekends, with several still continuing that discounted rate today. Our restaurant recovery initiatives were another key way that the PDP helped downtown restaurants survive the pandemic, while at the same time aiding those experiencing food insecurity. The Downtown Community Takeout Program, developed in partnership with 412 Food Rescue, launched in December, thanks to the support of R.K. Mellon Foundation, the City of Pittsburgh, an anonymous donor, and private contributions. Through this program, the PDP is purchasing 3,500 meals per week from downtown restaurants, which helps to keep them open, keeps their staff employed, and also helps to tackle food insecurity. This is just another great example of forming partnerships that aid multiple facets of our community. The Shelter Support Initiative was also created to provide meals from 3 downtown restaurants to feed those staying at the Men's Winter Shelter on Smithfield Street. Through this initiative, 9,000 meals are being provided to shelter residents this season, while also providing a sales boost to 3 downtown restaurants. Looking forward, we have a wide array of efforts planned that support downtown reactivation. First, there will be a realignment of our downtown business attraction campaign with renewed focus on talent and business acquisition as the neighborhood rebounds from pandemic restrictions. Secondly, the regular delivery of downtown reactivation metrics, including office building occupancy, parking garage utilization, bus ridership, and visitor information, will be shared to inform our stakeholders on the progress of downtown reactivation. We will develop a restaurant recruitment program to build a collaborative framework between local property owners, the commercial real estate community, and public officials to support this vital part of our downtown economy. New opportunities to market and promote unique real estate opportunities in downtown will be created, and the 2021 State of Downtown Pittsburgh report will be developed to provide market data and trends that inform the economic outlook for downtown in 2021 and beyond. Lastly, but not least, we will maintain, manage, and promote the Downtown Community Takeout Program in partnership with 412 Food Rescue to purchase over 50,000 meals from downtown restaurants and continue to address the issue of food insecurity. Now handing this back to Lucas, who will take you through an update on some of the work of our events and marketing teams. Lucas.
Thanks, Gary. Unprecedented disruptions were a fact of life in 2020, and it was never more apparent than when we needed to cancel two of our beloved events, Picklesburgh and Light Up Night. Reimagining and reinventing the downtown traditions that could occur became vital to ensuring that people could be welcomed back safely. And while difficult decisions had to be made throughout the year, the PDP remained steadfast in its mission to enliven downtown while also protecting the health and welfare of the community. To this end, the PDP team developed the Downtown Health and Safety Communications Toolkit, featuring a Prepare, Protect, Prevent message. This free downloadable graphics, signs, and messages were used by businesses throughout downtown to help normalize safety protocols and build awareness. Graphics like the Yinzer's Guide to Social Distancing gained extensive media attention and were widely adopted for use in bus shelters, window decals, and on-floor stencils. BOMA, the Port Authority, and several neighboring districts also adopted the graphics toolkit, presenting a unified and consistent message platform, and all of these assets are still in use today. Without question, safety was the highest priority for any event or any activity last year. Event planning required strategies that would appeal to volumes of people, but not create crowd density, a complex and a challenging problem. Nevertheless, many events did happen in downtown in 2020, and in many cases, completely reinvented, but bringing with them a welcome degree of normalcy as people slowly returned to the neighborhood. The opening of the first downtown farmers market in mid-May illustrates the flexibility and resiliency that was a hallmark of 2020. Deemed an essential service, the farmers market started its 16th season on a new day and in a new location to ensure shopper safety and social distancing. In June, the farmers market returned to Market Square in a safely reconfigured footprint and with PDP park ambassadors redeployed 7 days a week. This also marked the return of live music in downtown, along with twice-weekly happy hour musical performances. Downtown visitors could also get outside and de-stress with the return of a socially distant version of Yoga in the Square. The reinvention of the downtown holiday season was a mammoth undertaking, and early planning began in the spring with another pivot required to prioritize health and safety as restrictions and mandates changed. While the pandemic meant that Light Up Night, typically the largest single-day event in the city, would have to be canceled, the PDP was still committed to delivering a festive holiday experience. The anchor attraction was a reconfigured People's Gas Holiday Market, the only major event that was approved to proceed in 2020, and a reflection of officials' confidence in the PDP's approach. We knew that in-person visits with Santa would not be possible, so this holiday experience was reimagined through the development of Santa Zoom, powered by Xfinity. Allegedly live from the North Pole, this virtual experience delivered some unique holiday memories while still raising funds for the Pittsburgh Food Bank. Further festivities took place outdoors in the Heinz Hall courtyard, where Highmark presented Holiday Kids Play, now reinvented as a socially distant selfie garden and populated with characters from Fred Rogers Productions. To support the restaurant community, expanded outdoor dining districts were made even more festive with the addition of Holiday Wonderland lighting, made possible with support from our friends at BNY Mellon. Live music and pop-up vendors also added to the vibrancy of outdoor dining along Penn Avenue throughout the entire season. Of course, in a year like no other, not everything went as planned. The conversion of Picklesburgh's giant Heinz pickle balloon into the world's largest pickle ornament was canned when it burst, unfortunately, during its installation. Its demise provided a perfect metaphor for the year that was 2020. Then shortly after, the pandemic's grip tightened again and the holiday market was shut down unfortunately, in the interest of public safety. Despite the pandemic, though, the holiday market and other attractions still created a safe, well-received, and well-attended downtown holiday season. As we look forward into 2021, the events and marketing teams have big plans for downtown's rebound. Marketing is moving quickly to establish plans for the re-engagement of the returning workforce, residents, and visitors, and continuing to showcase downtown to a diverse audience, locally, regionally, and nationally, while maintaining confidence in health and safety. Members will be re-engaged in creative ways to expedite downtown's recovery post-pandemic, and implementation of safe outdoor member events will receive increased focus, coupled with members' discounts and other great incentives to encourage small business patronage in downtown. Developing impactful programs to help restaurants both economically survive the pandemic and regain momentum will be prioritized with activations that amplify PDP investments and engage new and existing customers through innovative campaigns. Lastly, the team plans to re-engage the Strategic Communications Committee to aid in the ongoing definition and execution of our efforts and advance our growing Reforged Downtown platform through integrated marketing that expresses the unique value that downtown offers in creative and very innovative ways. On the events side, there is now a great opportunity to build on the experiences of 2020 to create the safest of activations and to offer diverse, expanded events that create renewed vibrancy that encourages downtown engagement. A cornerstone of this will be the re-energized Market Square, with a full season of weekly programming featuring the Farmers Market, Yoga in the Square, live music, and the return of the Saturday Night Market, as well as supplemental programming that supports downtown restaurants and their ever-expanding outdoor dining areas. A brand new activation, the Allegheny Overlook, will provide community programming in a pop-up park at Fort Duquesne Boulevard along the river, one of the many pop-up venues that will provide opportunities in support of priority locations in a larger strategy. We appreciate the support of the City of Pittsburgh and our partners River Life, the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust, and the Office of Public Art on this endeavor. Lastly, with an operating assumption that COVID-19 guidance will permit a return to a more typical holiday celebration, there will be a refresh of Light Up Night to mark its 60th anniversary, and further exploration into options to expand our holiday attractions to more and more locations throughout downtown. And now I'll hand it back to Jeremy for a few words.
I recently heard a quote that what you cannot foresee, and in some cases prevent, you must manage. As frustrating as this can be, it's a lot of what we've had to do over the last year. With 2020 now in the rearview mirror, I want to say how proud I am of the work that we've done as a community. Together with our partners, we took so many creative steps to help reinvigorate downtown during one of our most difficult times. Like everyone I speak to, I'm truly excited about what lies ahead for us. We have so many good things happening. Some projects will have an immediate impact, while other initiatives will be long-lasting and truly transformational. We're talking generational. I want to re-emphasize just a few. We look forward to Smithfield Street being remade and returned to a premier downtown destination once again. There's so much potential here. We also look forward to a more usable riverfront space that the new Allegheny Overlook along the Allegheny River will provide. This park will be another special outdoor space for people to enjoy some incredible riverfront views while experiencing food, drink, music, and art once again. We're excited to further support minority businesses by creating new opportunities for entrepreneurs to join us in creating a more vibrant and inclusive community. Supporting more public art, and particularly artists of color, and helping us create a more visually dynamic outdoor experience downtown will continue to transform our streets. I also can't wait for you to see the transformation that continues to happen in downtown. We have so many outdoor dining opportunities for you this summer in Market Square, along 6th Street and Penn Avenue. We have 12 major developments that were recently completed or expected to be delivered this year, representing over $300 million in investment. New hotels, residential rentals and condos, office redevelopments, and yes, a new Target. There's a lot to look forward to, but the key here is that we are indeed looking forward to the future, and it looks really bright. And we're confident it will be even better than before. We look forward to working with you to create a community where businesses of all sizes can thrive, and we continue to attract and retain innovative talent that drives our region forward. Now, this is the part where I ask you to please visit our website to check out our 2020 annual report. You'll be receiving a link to the report after the meeting. There's a nice page turner app that makes it easy to browse. You can also drill into the details, including a picture of the popped pickle. So that in and of itself makes it worth your while. More importantly, we want to hear from you. We want your ideas on increasing the diversity of downtown, how we can become a more inclusive and resilient place where people want to be and that drives the region's economy. Now, it's my privilege and honor to introduce Melissa Doherty, who's up next to discuss this year's board election process and introduce you to the future leaders of the organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. I'd like to take a few moments to explain how the board election process worked this year. The governance committee enlisted board members and stakeholders to develop a list of potential candidates for the slate, which was then approved by the executive committee in January of 2021. Next, we distributed a mail-in ballot to PDP members via both email and regular mail. I am pleased to report that a quorum was achieved with the returned ballots, and I'm happy to welcome the following new directors to the PDP. Jessica Albert with Leach Tishman, journalist, media personality, and digital media consultant, Natalie Bensavenga, Amy Broadhurst of CBRE, Ramona Kane with Winthrop Management, Brian Debach with Interpark LLC, David Fisfis with Duquesne Light, Sabrina Sanders Mosby with Vibrant Pittsburgh, Sarah Meehan Parker of Alpha Graphics, Mike Mitchum from Permani Brothers, Peter Quintanilla with Michael Baker International, Jimmy Sacco of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Gina Winstead with Women in Tech. They will all serve a 3-year term, which will expire in 2024. I'm also happy to report that Lucas Pyatt was reelected for an additional 1-year term. In addition, Kevin Wade from PNC will be joining the executive committee as secretary, with Andy Wisniewski as vice chair and Craig Stambach continuing as treasurer. Now, I'd like to express my sincerest thanks and good wishes to the board members who will be leaving us after all of their incredible years of service to our organization. Rich Bynan with Bynan & Company, Jim Blue of Rootstock Wealth Advisors, David Case with PMI, Gary Dudley of CBRE, Tom Harrington of Winthrop Management, Grant Mason with Oxford Development, Claire Meehan of Alpha Graphics, Tom Michael from Laramore's, and Meryl Stabile from Alco Parking. On behalf of the PDP board, staff, and stakeholders, we want to thank you all for your continued support of downtown Pittsburgh and the PDP's mission. We're so very grateful for all of your work. And with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Lucas for his closing remarks.
Thanks, Melissa. And I want to pass on my own thanks to the board members who are leaving us for all of their great work. And also, I would like to welcome all of those that are joining us. I thank you all for your tireless commitment and support in advancing the PDP organization. I also want to thank our generous sponsors of today's event, Comcast Business and BNY Mellon, as well as our donors, partners, and supporters who allow us to create and sustain our various projects and important activations. We appreciate your support so much, and we appreciate your input as well as your advocacy. In closing, we appreciate your attendance today, and we hope you will review our annual report as time allows. The year ahead looks full of optimism and opportunity. We hope you will enjoy everything that we have planned, and we look forward to seeing each one of you downtown in the very near future. Thanks, and have a great day.